Hello and welcome to my channel GMAT Mock. In this video I am going to cover each and everything about your dream MBA, the admission to B school, starting from GMAT preparation, TOEFL preparation, to college selection process, the application and admission process, the interview calls, I-20, visa process, each and every topics, the processes involved and the steps required I have covered in this video. So please stay till end with this video and do not forget to subscribe and follow my channel for more videos and more lectures on GMAT preparation and TOEFL preparation. So friends, let's get started. So I have divided this video into 4 parts, part A, B, C and D, just not to make this video too long and boring. Here is a disclaimer that the contents of the channels are all facts and any opinion is purely based on my own experience of preparation and research for application to colleges. References has been taken from authentic GMAT and other relevant websites, books or tutorial sites. So we will talk about the milestones, the different topics, different prerequisites to get into B schools. You have decided to get into a B school and do your MBA. So from your decision point or from your thinking till you get into the B schools, there are lots of steps and lots of things that you need to that you have to do. So we would cover each and every topic. So let's move ahead and see one by one each of the milestones. So the first milestone is your GMAT or GRE preparation and score. So you have to prepare for your GMAT and then or GRE and then get a good score to get into a B school. Now the second milestone, that is the second prerequisite, would be your TOEFL or IELTS test score. You can get waiver for TOEFL also, that we will discuss later in this video. Then comes your shortlisting or place of study and colleges. So once you have decided, I mean, you can keep this topic at your first choice or first preference also, that shortlisting your place of study first, whether you want to study in US or Europe or India, or you want to go to Canada or anywhere else. So first thing, you have to decide your place of study and you have to narrow it down. Don't make your options too broad. I mean, you can have, but don't. I would recommend that you have to think about it and then you have to narrow down your choices. So these all things I would cover in this topic: the shortlisting of place of study first, and then the shortlisting of your colleges. After that, the deadlines and other details of colleges. Once you shortlisted or narrowed down your college list, then you have to note down the deadlines of the colleges so that you don't miss the deadlines. Then we would go and cover application process and submission. So once you decided to colleges and you have noted down the deadlines, then one by one, when deadline approaches, you have to prepare so many things for applying to the colleges. Like you have to prepare your essays. The colleges ask some 2-3 essays. So based on the questions or based on the essays, you have to prepare a beautifully, I mean, you have to craft beautifully your essays. So the essays, resume, transcript, then the recommendation, all these things I would cover later. So recommendation, application fee, waiver for TOEFL and IELTS waiver you can take. So all these things you have to have while you are applying to the B schools, the colleges. So in part A, I would cover basically the GMAT GRE preparation and the score, and then TOEFL or IELTS test score and waiver. So these 2 topics I would cover in part A. Shortlisting place of study colleges and then note the deadlines and other details I would cover in part B of this video of chapter 1. And then in part C, I would cover the application process and submission. Now the next would be a part D, in which I would cover the miscellaneous things such as interview calls and preparation. This is also a very vital thing. You have to crack the interview. So how you would prepare for interview, what are the things that the colleges or the admission team, the ADCOM, would expect from you, how you can present yourself, I mean, in a best way. Then the final decision by colleges. After interview, within 15 days to 30 days, the college will give you the decision about, I mean, the admission. Then the decision and acceptance, you have to accept that once the college has sent you that you have been selected for this year, So you have to accept, they will give a window of some days in which you have to accept their offer, and then you have to pay a basic fee of around $1,000 to $1,500. This is the initial amount that you have to pay to book your seat. And then the scholarship, the colleges can give you a scholarship. You can negotiate with the colleges. So these things I would cover. Now, obtaining I-20 from colleges, financing, applying for bank loan or Prodigy Finance, applying for visa, prepare for visa interview, medical test, rental accommodation, forex. So all these things we would cover in this part B of the chapter 1 of this video. So in this part A, we would cover GMAT preparation and score, and then TOEFL, IELTS test score and waivers. So first question would come to your mind, or many students are asking that whether I should do GMAT or GRE. So the good news is that most B schools accept either of the two. That is, earlier it used to be, GMAT, the most of the colleges required GMAT for MBA course, but nowadays they are accepting GMAT or GRE. So it is as per your convenience. So both will work for getting admission to B school. So that will not be a hindrance. Now, when should you take the test? This is a very good and vital question that many students ask, or they are doubtful, because they start late and they go into September, October or November, and if they are not very well prepared for exam, then they extend the date again for 1 month or 2 months, and in that time, by December, most of the colleges round 2 are over. So I would recommend to apply to colleges in first round itself, and if not first round, then maximum by second round. Don't go for third round or fourth round or etc. Fourth round is anyway not for international students. So I would recommend that you apply to colleges in first round itself. Now, if you want to apply into first round itself, so first round of Indian colleges would start in August itself, and most of the US colleges or European colleges also have their first round deadline in September or October itself. So by the time you will take your GMAT test in December or November, your first round or probably second round also would have been gone. So your scholarship chances would be very less in third round if you apply. So the best plan is to take the GMAT and get a score latest by June end or July mid. Now this will give you ample time to write your essays, make your resume, and apply to colleges in round 1 itself, as I said you. Now this will also give you enough room to retake GMAT and improve your score in case you could not get a good score in your first attempt. So once you decided that you have to do MBA, so I would recommend that you start your preparation in January or February, and by mid of July, before mid July, you give your first attempt. So now we would move ahead for GMAT exam and syllabus. I think all of you would be knowing, but still I would cover this in 2 minutes. So GMAT exam the duration is 3 hours and 30 minutes, and this would comprise of 3 sections. Quantitative reasoning would be the first section. That would be of 62 minutes and 31 questions would be there. So per question you would be having around 2 minutes. The quantitative reasoning would be consisting of 2 subsections, which is problem solving and data sufficiency. So all these topics I would cover in my tutorial videos later. So after first section you would be having an 8 minutes of break, and then your second section will start. The second section would be verbal reasoning, which would be of 65 minutes and 36 questions would be there. So this verbal reasoning would be comprising of 3 subsections, that is sentence correction, reading comprehension, and then critical reasoning. And then after this section again 8-minute break would be there. You have to come back within 8 minutes. If you do late, if you come after 8 minutes and come to your seat, then the extra minutes that you have you have delayed would be cut from your sectional time, that is from 65 minutes or next section, whatever timing would be there. From that, this time will be deducted. So you have to be on your seat and start your exam before this 8 minutes. So now the third section would be, the third and final section would be comprising of 2 subsections, that is integrated reasoning, which would be of 30 minutes and 12 questions would be there, and there will not be any break. And the last thing, that is the analytical writing assessment AWA, that will also be of 30 minutes and 1 essay would be there, argument based essay would be there. Now the good thing is that this is not a fixed sequence. that is the quantitative reasoning, verbal reasoning, and then integrated and IR and AVAR. So this is one of the sequence, and you can have your own selection, your own sequence as per your choice. So these students select as per their own choice or their strengths. You can have a when you give the mock test, that time you can experiment with that. In first 2-3 mock tests, you take first verbal, then quant, and then IR, and then second mock you take quant and then verbal and then IR. So that way you can decide that which way you are feeling yourself comfortable. And I would suggest not to take this third one, the third. This I won't suggest. So let's look at the scores also. So quant section is of 62 minutes, 31 question as I said, and the maximum score that you get is 51. You cannot get more than 51 in quant. However, the net score is 60, but they convert it into a score that maximum score that you can get is 51. In verbal section, you can get maximum of 51 again. Not many students are getting 51. The maximum score that I have seen till now is 48 or 49 only. So even if you are getting 48 or 49 score in verbal and getting 51 score, then you can get a 800, perfect 800 also. This is also out of 60. Integrated reasoning is of 8 marks. 12 questions are there, but that is of maximum mark is 8. So out of these 8 marks, you can target, you should target to get 5+. 4 questions are of experimental questions, you can say. Experimental questions are there, which are not marked, which are not scored. In analytical reasoning 30 minutes, this is the total of maximum of 6 marks. Out of this 6, you can easily get a 5.5 or 5. You should get more than 4.5. You should get, and you must get more than 4.5. Now, ideal duration for preparation for GMAT is around 4 to 6 months. When you are simultaneously working at some office, you are in job. So 4 to 6 months would be, I think, would be better and would be enough for a working professional. So take your time, don't rush. Strengthen your basics first, and then practice, and then mock tests. So this way, this should be your sequence. The basics first. You understand the basic. You understand the reasoning, the theory part, the grammar, or the data sufficiency basics, or the problem solving, and then you practice questions. Practice lots of questions, and then you go for the mock test, and then finally GMAT, the D-Day. That's why I told you that you start your preparation in January or February, so that after 4 to 6 months, it will be in June or July, you could give your first attempt of GMAT and get a good score. Now, what is a good score? For Indians or Asians, you can say, the competition has so increased in last few years that a safe score or a benchmark score is 720 plus nowadays for getting into a decently good, a good ranked college. So earlier this mark used to be 700. When you get 700 mark, it used to be a very good mark. But nowadays competition has been increasing day by day, especially in the populated countries like China and India. So I would suggest that you should base a 720 mark for yourself. 720 would be a very competitive score, and you can get into a very good college. The top 40, top 30, top 40 or top 50 colleges you can easily get. But if you get 700 or below 700, then you have to a bit struggle. Your profile should be very good for getting into good college, or you have to compromise with lower ranked colleges only. Because all colleges look for a very good score, they don't compromise the score, because that score would rank them higher in the 50 ranking or US college rank. So they want a good score, and because they have available resources, they have so many applicants available who are having a better score, a good score of 720, 710, 730. So obviously they would give preference to those students who are having a better score. So I think score is a very, very important and very vital thing these days, more important than other things. Now, though it depends upon your capability, profile, and which colleges you target. Yes, this is also a very important thing. So scores are most important for US colleges or top ranked colleges, and a score really does matter. So try for 710 plus or 720 plus. Yeah. Now for higher middle rank colleges, 20 plus rankings, and with an average profile, a 720 plus is a safer one. Yes. Now score versus target colleges. What score you should get and which colleges you should target. Based on my experience, I have made some chart on which you can easily think about the colleges and then the score that you should get. So 700 or 710 with average profile. Now target lower mid-range colleges. It's a simple thing. Now what is average profile and good profile? I will just cover after a few slides. Lower mid-range means mid-range is basically, you can say 30 to 65 or 70. That is the mid-range colleges. In mid-range colleges, the lower mid-range is 50 to 70. You can say rank 50 to rank 70. Now if you get 720 plus with average profile, now target higher mid-range colleges, that is 30 to 50. Now if you have average profile and you have 720 plus score, then I said not only the score but other things also matter for top ranked colleges. So for top 20 colleges, if you say, even if you get 720 plus and you have an average profile, so you might not get a call. So even if you have a 750 or 740 score, so a 740 750 score is not not a guarantee that you would get into a very good college. A 750 score or 740 score with a very good profile also will get you a top 20 colleges anywhere. Now 720 plus with good profile, target higher and higher mid-range colleges. So higher mid-range colleges were 30 to 50, and then higher, if you have very good profile and 720 plus score also, then you can target for higher top ranked colleges or the Ivy League colleges also. If you get a 680 or 690 with average profile, now target lower ranked colleges, that is rank 65 or 70 plus. Now 680 or 690 with excellent profile, that is very good profile, then you can also target mid-range colleges or higher mid-range colleges. So profile good or bad, just wait for a few minutes. I would cover in next few slides. So GMAT scoring, let's see GMAT scoring, sectional score versus total score. So here is the quant score. Let's say for Indian students or ASEAN students, getting 50 in quant is not a very big challenge. At least 49 is not a big challenge. So Q50, if you are getting quant 50 and then verbal 40 or 41, then you will get a score of 740. Now if you are getting quant 51 and verbal 40 or 41, so you can get a score of 740. So this way you can target your verbal score and your quant score also, because you are getting, you have fixed your target that you have to get 740 or 730 score. Now for getting 730, how much score you have to how much you have to score in quant and how much you have to score in verbal, so that you can decide based on this list, this table. So if you want to get 700 or 710, you can get Q50 and verbal 34. Now this I am basing on Indian student or Asian students, you can say, because I have seen that in US, US students, they are getting in quant they can get 40, 47, 46, 45. So for them this is a very good quant score, and they get very good score in verbal they get 40, 41, 39, 38. So they easily get good score in verbal, but they don't get very good score in quant. So quant, for them quant is challenge, and for ASEAN students quant is very easy go, but verbal is a bit tougher. So I'm recommending this Q50 I have mentioned just for the ASEAN students, because for US students you can interpolate based on this. You get this quant 34, quant 45 if you're getting, and verbal you are getting 40, then also you can get easily 710, 720. So Q50, so if you are getting Q50, quant 50 and verbal 38 or 39, you can get easily 720 or 730 score. Now if you want to get 680 or 690, then if you are getting quant 50 score and in verbal you are getting 33 or lesser, then you would get 680 or 690. Now Q50 and V42 plus or 43 plus would get you a 760 plus score. Q49, V35, V36, 35 or 36 will get you a 700 score if Q is 49. Now for US students, if Q45 or 46 are there and verbal is 40, 41, they can get 710 or 720. Now I would move to GRE exam and syllabus. So those who are willing to take GRE and get into B school, this will be useful for them also. So the GRE would also be having the same kind of sections, except for this IR, that is integrated reasoning. Integrated reasoning is not there in GRE, but the two sections of verbal and the quantitative reasoning, and then the AVA, that is the analytical writing assessment, these all three would be there in GRE exam also, but the pattern would be changed and the scoring would also be changed. So there will be quantitative reasoning first. So quantitative reasoning, you would be having 2 or 3 into 35-minute section. So there will be 2 or 3 sections of quant, and each section would be of 35 minutes, and each section would be containing 20 questions. Now then comes the verbal reasoning section. Now verbal reasoning section would be either 3 or 2 based on your quant. If quant is 3, the verbal section would be 2. If quant is 2, then verbal section would be 3. And verbal section, each section would be of 30 minutes and each section containing 20 questions. Now then the analytical writing assessment. We were also having this analytical writing assessment in GMAT also, but in GMAT only one writing task was there. One essay we had to write, that was argument based essay. But in GRE you have 2 essays and there will be 60-minute time. One essay would be an analysis of an issue task, analyze an issue, and the other would be analyze an argument. So one analysis and analyze an issue task would be there, and one analyze an argument task would be there. So 30 minutes would be there, and 1 minute of gap would be there. Okay, so two variable section will also be there. 2 variable verbal or quant section would be there. That would be unscored and just for research purpose. So they will not be included in your GRE score, but you have to compulsorily take that 2 sections also. So you would be having a 30-minute essay, that is argument based essay, then a break of 1 minute. Now then you would be having an issue based essay, that is of 30 minutes, then again break of 1 minute. Now you will directly after 1 minute break you would have to start a quant or verbal section. So how this quant and verbal section would be there? 1 quant and 1 verbal, or first verbal or quant or verbal. 1 quant and 1 verbal section will be there, that is 35 minutes and 30 minutes. This will be in a row, continuous. And then there will be a 10 minute of break. After that again another section would be of quant and verbal, that would again be of 35 minutes and 30 minutes, continuous. And then again a break of just 1 minute would be there. And after this 1 minute break, there will be again a quant or verbal section. Why? Because we have 2 quant section or 3 verbal section, or 3 verbal section, 3 quant section and 2 verbal sections. So total 5 sections were there. So here we have covered 1 quant and 1 verbal, 1 quant and 1 verbal. So 4 are covered. So 1 would be there. So 1 remaining quant or verbal section would be there after your break of 1 minute, and then again 1 minute break, and this 2 sections would be there, that is unmarked section. The total exam duration would be 3 hours and 45 minutes. So GRE score would be a total of 340. So out of 340, a good score is 320 plus. As in GMAT, I told you that a good score is 720 plus. So in GRE, good score is 320 plus, and you may try to get 330 plus also. It's a very good score. Now, as a non-native student, you may target to get 165 plus out of 170, or even 170 out of 170 in quant section. Now, as I told you that non-native student or ASEAN students are good at quant, so you can maximize your score in your quant section. So quant section is of 170 marks, and verbal section is also of 170 marks. So you have to maximize your score in quant section, so you can get 170 out of 170, if not 168, 167 or 160 plus, at least 165 plus. Now in verbal section, as you have maximized your score in quant, so you can have a little bit of room in your verbal section, so you can get 150 plus or even 160 plus out of 170 in verbal. So by that 150 plus 170 you can get 320, and if you are getting 160 in your verbal, then 170 would get you a 330 plus score. So now you can get easily in verbal, if you are increasing your score in verbal 155, you can get your score 165 in quant. So by that you can get 320 plus. Now again, take your exam till June or July mid. June end or July mid. This will give you ample time for preparing your essays, resume, transcripts and all the things, the recommendations. So now please refer my channel's specific video and on GMAT sections, formats, durations, scores, tutorials and preparation techniques for more details and preparation. Now subscribe and follow the channel for many preparation tips, tutorials and informative videos related to GMAT and TOEFL. So let's move ahead to TOEFL section. That is the second prerequisite for your getting into B school, admission to B school. So why these tests? First question is why these tests? Let me tell you that these tests are not required for Indian schools. These are required for US, Europe, Canada or any international colleges. So why these tests? Because they want to know that you are good and proficient in English and you can easily speak there and interact with their professors and listen to and understand their teachings, their lectures. So for that they need you to be proficient in English, and that is why they want they want you to qualify this TOEFL and IELTS, which is nothing but just a English proficiency test. So English proficiency tests are prerequisite for admission to international colleges, not for Indian colleges. Now take the exam till August 30. As I told you that GMAT exam you finish by June end or July mid. So you can finish your TOEFL or IELTS exam also by August 30, so that you are well prepared for applying to foreign colleges in September or October. If your undergraduate college or your 4-year college degree was completely in English, the whole medium of instruction was English, then they give you an offer, they can give you a waiver of English proficiency test, that is TOEFL or IELTS, provided you submit your medium of instruction certificate that you can get from your college. But remember that not all colleges accept that. Many colleges are there, like Fisher College was there, or the Foster are there. So these colleges don't give you any waiver for English proficiency test. So for those colleges, if you're applying to, you have to have pass in your TOEFL or IELTS tests. Now the question is TOEFL or IELTS. Nowadays most of the colleges in US or Europe, they accept both of this, either TOEFL or IELTS. But yeah, the thing is that if you are applying to European or Canadian college, it's better to take IELTS, and if you are applying to US colleges, then it is better to take TOEFL, because in US almost all the colleges accept TOEFL, and in Europe or Canada almost all the colleges accept IELTS. So if you are going for TOEFL, the duration would be of 3.5 hours, that is 3.5 hours, and there will be total 4 sections: the reading section, listening section, and then there will be a break of 10 minutes, and then speaking and writing section. So these 4 sections will be there in your examination, and the duration of each section would be varying. It's not that all these sections are of 1 hour or 30 minutes. Speaking section is a little lesser. Writing session is of, I think, half an hour. So all these details I have covered in my dedicated video for TOEFL. Now the maximum score for TOEFL is 120, and your target score should be 100 plus, because many of the colleges in US, they ask for 100 plus. So many of the colleges require 100 plus score, and many other colleges require 80 plus score also, but many colleges require 100 plus also. So if you get 100 plus score in your TOEFL, then you are very safe for each and every college. And some colleges ask for the sectional cutoff also, like in speaking section I need this much score, or in writing or listening section I want minimum this score. So normally they ask for speaking section only. In speaking section the maximum score they can ask is 24 or 25. So if you are getting a 24 plus sectional cutoff in speaking section, then you are safe, very much safe for each and every college. Not all colleges require sectional cutoff, so don't worry about it, but still you try to get 24 plus in your speaking section. And then in listening section also you try to get 20 plus or 22 plus if you can get, because many colleges want in listening 20 plus and in reading in speaking section 24 plus. Now preparation time for TOEFL is average 15 to 25 days or a month time is enough. So as I told you, many colleges accept 80 plus score and many provide waiver on English proficiency test based on the language of your graduate degree. That is, graduate degree is actually in India we say that we are graduate, but in US or other colleges they say undergraduate. So you can say here your undergraduate degree. Some colleges require sectional cutoff too, especially in speaking section. This I have covered. Now for waiver, what you have to do, you need to write a mail to their admission committee .com stating that your sole medium of instruction was English during your 4-year undergraduate degree. For that you have to get a medium of instruction letter from your college or your university. Now IELTS. So structurally this IELTS is similar to TOEFL but different in few ways. So what are the differences? Let's see. So the duration is approx 3 hours, that is a lesser than the TOEFL section. A number of section is 4, reading, listening, writing and speaking, as it was in TOEFL section. Now this is maximum score is just 9. It is a scale down to 9 score, and your target score should be 7 plus or 7.5 plus. Your target speaking section score should be 7 plus again, as it was in TOEFL it was 24 plus. In speaking section it should be 7 plus, and your target total score should be 7 plus or 7.5 plus. So many colleges accept 6 plus score also, and many provide waiver on English proficiency tests based on the language of your graduate degree. But for many colleges 7 or 7.5 plus is a requirement without any waiver. So you need to write a mail to their admission committee for waiver. Subscribe and follow the channel for many preparation tips, tutorials and informative videos related to GMAT and TOEFL. So the milestones that I've covered in this video, the part A is GMAT or GRE preparation and score, and then TOEFL, test score and waivers. These things I have covered in part A. Now in part B, I would be covering shortlisting of your place of study and colleges, noting the deadlines and other details. And then in part C, I would cover this application process and submission. In part D, I would cover other miscellaneous topics: interview, final decision, acceptance, I-20, financing, visa, medical test, rental accommodation, etc. So thank you guys. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and do like and share this video and other video also, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. And you can follow me on the social media also. You can directly mail me on gmatmonk@gmail.com. On Facebook you can follow me on gmatmonk, Twitter on gmatmonk, and then Instagram also on gmatmonk. So guys, meet you in part B of this video, which is the link of which is in the I button and in the description also. So thank you.